and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Casey.
Hey y'all, my name is Isela, and today we're gonna dive into our summer plans, exploring what teachers do during the break, and we're gonna discuss changes in the Texas education. We talked about it last episode. So a few things happened this week, so we're gonna talk about those today.
Yes, so grab your favorite summer drink and let's get started.
All right, guys. So let's start with summer plans. So I don't know about you guys, but I always make all the plans in the world, and then
Oh my gosh,
I
for
end up
real.
like just staying dead on my couch for like a good week or so. I think I finally reached that stage where you don't know what day of the week it is. You don't know the date. Like I don't know what today is. I know we're in June, but I don't know what June what. And you go to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you wake up at noon, and your whole day is gone basically. I reached that sweet spot right now, so I'm enjoying it so far, but when I do get out of my slump and I feel well rested, I'm planning on doing a whole lot of sewing. I have a lot of projects that I want to do. I want to make me some clothes, some dresses. We'll see what comes up with. What else? And I want to read. Oh my god, I'm so behind on my TBR, so I want to catch up on my reading. What about you, Casey? What's been going on?
Oh, let's see. So I'm teaching summer school. So unfortunately, I'm still going. So
Ugh.
I'm still, I know. So I am the complete opposite of what I normally am. And I totally know what today is and the date. And because I have to keep track of everything.
Right.
So things are a little different, but I'm super excited. This year for summer school, we decided that we're gonna do online summer school.
Wow.
So everything that I'm doing is online. So I'm super excited about that. The kids are doing really well. They're all logging in and completing their assignments, which is really cool. I've been communicating with parents left and right. So I am like in the thick of it. Like I am going. But because it's online, it doesn't feel like I am still in school. So
Right. Because
yeah.
you're not having to get up and go to school every morning and like
Hmm.
keep that schedule.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you guys had a good turnout with that summer school?
So far, there's a few kiddos that are missing, but we're hoping to get them like on board by next week. It's not a ton of kids; it's less than 20.
Wow.
Yeah, so not bad at all. But overall, it's been a pretty good experience so far. Right? The month is young. We still
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens. But yeah, something different. But man, yeah, this online thing,
You could
really
dig it?
loving it. Yes, I
Yeah.
could do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Does it remind you of COVID times?
You know what? A little bit. It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah, because everything that I look for has to be like Google compatible,
Mhm.
or it has to be something that they can kind of complete on their own, not necessarily like me teaching, actively teaching. But yeah, definitely brings back some
COVID
memories.
memories.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Do you remember, speaking of COVID, I'm gonna like go off subject a little bit. Do you remember having to record yourself and then post those on
Yeah.
Google Classroom? Yeah.
Yeah, they were so cringy. And then not only that, but they were a little mine were long. And my kids, there's no way they were going to sit for 30, 45 minutes and
No,
watch that. There's just no
not at
way.
all.
Not unless, I was bringing in some effects and some music and I wasn't about to go up.
Well, I remember not even getting kids to log in when they were
Mm,
supposed to. Like,
yeah.
I think, in junior high, kids don't want to be in front of a camera.
No.
So I never got any to log in. And when I was
Yeah.
trying to teach, and I would stay on and they wouldn't come on. So after a while, I think I just started recording myself and posting videos just to make it easier on everybody. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Do you know why your district decided to go with online?
So normally we do just 2 weeks of summer school and we are
Wow.
extending it. I know. Well, how many weeks do y'all do?
I think we do like 4 to 6.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are
So there's no
legit.
summer for some teachers that
Oh, yeah,
go teach summer
no.
school.
Okay, let me backtrack. Maybe not 2 weeks, maybe like 2 weeks and a half.
Okay.
Closer to three.
That's still pretty
Yeah,
short though.
but that is. Um, and I believe it's Monday through Thursday too.
Yeah,
I don't
ours is
yeah,
too. And
yeah.
it doesn't go all day. I think they get out like at
Mm.
noonish, I want to
Mhm.
say.
Same.
So it's not, but still, I mean, I would have to be like, I guess, in dire need for me to teach summer
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I never signed up for it. And then, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not a core teacher, so what am I gonna do?
I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, I don't know what the logistics of it are. I'm assuming maybe to save money because it's
Mhm.
always about money, right?
Right.
Always about money. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
maybe it's a way for them to save some money. They can hire less people. I don't need as many teachers. We don't have to worry about electricity, people coming in and out. Yeah, I think it's just financially more doable. However, we are extending like our time frame. So we go in, or we're going to be, summer school will last until like July, like the
Wow.
second week of July.
Wow, that is super long.
Yeah.
Cuz it
Yeah.
started this week, right?
So July 10th, I believe, is our last day.
Ooh,
hmm
that's long. That's a big
Yeah.
shift going from 2.5, 3 weeks to all the way
Mhm.
into the first week of July.
Yeah.
Wow. But
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be beneficial for those kids that are actually doing the work. You know what I mean?
Hoping. So for my kiddos, we are listening to a book. So they have an actual book, like
Mhm.
a book packet that they are like taking notes and highlighting. And then we are listening to a book. And I push out chapters and comprehension questions. And then we do IXLs. And today we did a GIM kit. So there's like different little things that, we'll do. I try to keep it to an hour and a half
Yeah.
just so that they do have time to complete like their math assignments and stuff. But
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm loving it.
Yeah, dude, I'm such a geek that I would have loved to like give me all the readings in
Right?
summertime so I can like
Mm,
just have something to do. You know what I mean? But I don't
yeah,
know. I mean, I've always liked reading, so
yeah,
that's that.
yeah.
Um
The book is
anyway,
really good, and
yeah, what are y'all
yeah.
reading?
So we're reading. It's an Alan Gratz, I believe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but
Mhm.
it's a World War II book.
Oh.
I know it's super good. So it takes place in Poland and they're getting invaded by Nazi soldiers. And it's a
Uh
perspective from like a 10-year-old boy and the changes
mm,
that are coming to his little town and all the experiences that he's going through. Super good book, super good book. So my kids are like
dude.
really into it. The
Yeah.
kids love anything to do with the Holocaust.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I think that's a subject that is not talked about enough. Like in
Mm-hmm.
school, I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz not a lot of kids know exactly what went down and how
Mm-hmm.
horrific it was.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, so for book club last month in May,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is June. Yeah, for
Yeah.
May, we read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Have you
Mm-hmm.
heard of it?
I haven't.
So she is I guess she's like a historical writer. I read
Mm-hmm.
a book by her before, The Women, and that one is WW1, and then this
Mm-hmm.
one was 2. So when the Nazi
Mm.
and all that, and it was a thick book. It was almost 600 pages,
Holy cow.
but it was so freaking good. And same thing, like it was based in Paris, and it was their perspective of how they got invaded and how they went from like thriving and being okay to like having no food, no clothes. Like the way she describes how they would go into their houses and just take whatever they wanted because
Mhm.
that's what they did. It was just awful. Really good book. Highly recommend. I'm sure you've seen it all over TikTok. If you haven't, I highly recommend that you guys read it because it's an amazing story.
I'm gonna have to put it on my list, on my reading list for sure.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
What else do you have going on this summer?
Just traveling. Right now we're on vacation, hence the weird background.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on vacation. Just a lot of school stuff. I have a lot of trainings going on this summer. Um, and just getting ready for next year. So I'm gonna do a lot of changes. So scores are back.
Oh,
Scores came back.
the dreaded
And
scores.
yeah, yeah. And granted, I think my kids did okay.
Yeah.
I don't think they did too bad. Um, but there are definitely some changes that
Mm-hmm.
I am going to incorporate next year just to get us to where we need to be. I don't know. Like I'm one of those like overachievers, you
Mhm.
know? Like if it's not fantastic, if it's not phenomenal, then I don't want it. So even though they did great and like any other district would be like, great scores. You did so
Yeah.
good. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, no, there's always room for improvement and
Of
we can always do
course.
better. And so definitely I'm changing up my curriculum a little bit. I think it needs to be just modified
Mhm.
some and just, yeah. So I'm definitely going to be working on that. So and just spend time with the babies and the kids and do stuff with them. I feel like there's never enough time for us to hang out and do stuff. So yeah, just easy peasy, nothing too crazy, nothing too grand. Just hang out at the house. Growing a vegetable garden, so I'm like
Oh,
trying to keep that sucker alive. We'll see. I don't have too many things in there, but I don't know. I've always wanted to like grow something, like something that I can, tell the kids like, "Hey, go get me some tomatoes from the garden. Go get me some jalapenos, and let's cook them." Right. So I've always wanted that, so I'm hoping maybe by like, I don't know, July we'll have some stuff coming in. I don't know. I don't know. Like how long does it take to grow tomatoes?
I don't know, dude. I think like that's a dream for tell your kids, hey,
Yeah.
go outside and pick some tomatoes so we can make a salad. That sounds wonderful to me. So
Mhm.
we actually tried growing a garden,
Mhm.
and the area that we planted our seeds, the dogs keep going on there and digging it up because it's wet and it's cool for them. So like half of it, it already has like sprouts like this big out.
Mhm.
Um, but then the other half, the dogs keep digging it up. So I'm pretty sad. I guess I'm gonna have to go buy like a little fence to put around the area so they don't go in there. But anyway, Casey, so you talked about revamping your curriculum for next year. So going on that, let's talk about what some teachers do during the summer. So it's not about just taking a break, right? It's time for teachers to reflect and do some growth, right?
Oh my
So
gosh, yes.
yeah. So a lot of people attend professional development. Other people take summer jobs like summer school. A lot of people start planning during the summer already for the upcoming school year, which is mind blowing to me because
Yeah.
the dedication that that takes. Props to you, teachers that do that, because that could never be me. I know a lot of teachers are studying. To get more certifications over the summer. So, what do you think about summer
A
jobs?
lot of teachers in my district will get second jobs,
Mhm.
Teachers just don't make enough. They're just I don't know. Wages just aren't livable, at least in our district. Our district is so small that our teachers have to go and look for second jobs. Unless it's a two household income, then we're, floating by. But if it's a single income, most teachers, they'll go and they'll get another job. Um, but yeah, a lot of us travel. Some of us will fit in on our all our doctor's appointments. I know I've
Mhm.
already started mine. It's when we take care of everything that we need to take care of, whether it's my doctor's appointments, the kiddos' doctor's appointments. It's like, let's knock everything out. Let's take them to the dentist. Let's take them to the eye doctor. Let's get all our yearly stuff taken care of so that during the year we're able to, be present in the moment when it comes to teaching. So, yeah, I think teachers, we have to manipulate our time a little bit and make the best use of our summer.
I think that doing all the appointments over the summer as well, it's beneficial for you as a teacher because you don't have to take days off, but
Mhm.
also doing it for your kids because then you don't have to take days off to take your kids for those annual checkups so that they don't miss any school. So I definitely think that it's a personal choice for some teachers. You know, some do it out of necessity. Like you said, in your district, they don't make a lot of money. So some have to take a part time job even if they don't want to. Um, I guess it's just depending on the situation and some teachers enjoy staying busy and getting that job and making that extra money for later on in the year. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I think we're a different breed. Like,
Mhm.
I honestly think we're the type of person that it's like go, 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 go. And then we want that, okay, we just want to rest. But within a week or two, we miss the going and the getting and we're just built different. Teachers are built different.
Yeah, I reached that point where I know I'm going to be so bored and
Mhm.
nothing is going to sound interesting to me anymore. And I'm just going to be like, I need to go back to work. And because I am one of those people, I guess that's like a perfect opportunity for me to get a part time during the
Mhm.
summer, but I just can't do it, man. Like,
Yeah.
I guess because I don't have the necessity for it. I mean, could I pay some bills off? Sure, you know.
Who couldn't, right?
But I just, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to, I've become so selfish with my time and being able to be home with my kids all summer long or most of
Mhm.
the summer that I don't want to give it up. You know, I've already done that for too many years. So
Yeah.
being home with them is the best part about being in education, I believe.
Oh my gosh, 100%. We're off when they're off.
Hmm.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Cannot beat it. And I especially think it's become, a little bit more precious because our kids are getting older and, at some point they stop wanting to hang out with you and do things
Yes.
with you. So the time that we have together, yeah, it's very valuable.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Casey. So let's shift a little bit and let's touch base about some things that we talked about last week.
Oh, yeah.
Um, we're gonna talk about what happened this week in Texas. So last week we talked about House Bill 4 and House Bill 2. Um, so let's start with House Bill 2, signed by Governor Greg Abbott, and it's gonna give $8.5 billion into public schools. I'm going to tell you where these $8.5 billion are going. So they are giving $4 billion for teachers and staff pay raises.
Okay.
Um, so that includes, office staff, principals, counselors, and then they gave 153 million to
Mm-hmm.
expand career and technical educational opportunities.
Like for students?
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
I get that.
134 million for special education. It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. I hope it's used wisely.
I hope so too. Okay, 648 million is targeted for strategies to improve literacy and numeracy.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I also went when I read that. What do you think that means?
Hmm. Amplify, you think?
I don't know.
Oh no. I don't know. 'Cause I'm assuming that they're gonna try to level out curriculum where everybody's using the same curriculum.
That's what I was thinking. And
So
maybe going back to the way we used to teach kids how to read.
let's hope. Let's hope.
I hope so. I really hope so. Okay, 187 million for teacher preparation and certification programs.
So what, they're
So
gonna give us money if we take more certs?
I hope that it's like grants for teachers to get certified in other areas and like
Watch it be for people who want to go in education.
maybe.
Like maybe alternative certs?
Mm-hmm. Which I mean, those are expensive. I know I paid like 4,000, so
Yeah.
it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, 430 million to increase the school safety allotment, whatever that means.
Just to make sure schools are safe with all the bogus stuff that goes on, which
Yeah.
makes sense probably for resource officers,
I
which I
mean,
get that.
yeah, I mean, I think every campus needs at least one officer depending on the campus size.
I agree.
Okay, 1.3 billion for school district operational cost including insurance, transportation and utilities. That's good. A
Yeah.
lot of schools need that.
Yeah.
Um 199 million to expand the charter school facilities allotment.
That's interesting.
I'm sure people are going to have stuff to say about that. If you have
Yeah.
something to say about that,
Bring it on.
bring it
Tell
on.
us.
Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about this.
Yeah, for sure.
And then 318 million to provide additional funding to small and rural schools. So like you guys.
Heck yeah. Yes. Give us some more. We need it. We truly do need it. We
Yeah, I
need the
think you.
materials.
Mhm.
We oh my gosh, so limited on the things that we have.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last one is 296 million for adjustments to the tier 2 funding formula, which provides a $55 basic allotment increase per student. So Tier 2 funding provides additional enrichment revenue to school districts by allowing them to levy property taxes beyond the maximum compressed tax rate. This funding is supplemental to Tier 1 funding, which is a basic funding per student.
Hmm.
So basically, Tier 2 is designed to like provide additional revenue for school districts to support
Mm-hmm.
like, programs.
Yeah.
So yeah, an extra $55 per student
Hmm.
in every district. So again, Bill 2, it was signed yesterday, Wednesday, June 4th.
Yeah.
There's no announcement of when. I'm guessing this coming August, that's when it's going to go into effect.
I would hope so. Yeah.
But anyway, that's the breakdown on where these
A
$8.5
lot of
billion
money.
dollars are going. Yeah. So, you
I
know,
wish more of it would be, towards teachers, but it's not bad.
yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that they're doing this, but looking at it,
To break down.
the breakdown,
Yeah.
I mean, 4 billion is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But there are a lot of schools and there are a lot of teachers and staff in the state of Texas. I mean, Texas is humongous. So I kind of thought about it and I was like, 4 billion, it's not
Yeah.
super
It's
balanced, but
yeah.
again, I'm just grateful that it's happening. I know smaller district like yours, I know that
Mhm.
you guys are just unfairly getting paid down there. Do you know what your starting pay is for 0 years of experience?
It is horrible. Horrible. It is one of the lowest. So every state has a minimum, right? Do you know
Mhm.
what the minimum is for the state of Texas?
Okay, $34,390 is the entry level with 0 years of experience.
You know what ours is, your zero of experience?
What is it?
It's 35,000.
Wow. So, according to Google, if you have been teaching for 20 years with the minimum, you
Mhm.
can earn up to $54,540 a year. But this is how things have changed in Texas in some districts because I know ours starts in the low 60,000s. So
Wow, that's nice.
ours is super high
Yeah.
compared to y'all's. I mean,
Yeah, it's like half.
yeah, it's double the amount that you guys. But you know, I guess it just depends on the area that you are in.
Mhm.
We are blessed enough that ours is higher. Um, oil country, but yeah, that's. I feel like you guys are getting robbed down there. It's ridiculous. How do you make a living with $35,000 a year?
You don't. That's why I'm saying a lot of our teachers, and that's not even what our teachers' aides make. Imagine how low
God
they're
no.
getting paid.
Yeah.
Like theirs are in the 20s.
How do they expect people? And then the town that you live in, the cost of living is super high as well.
Yeah, it's a tourist town, right? So
Mhm.
our main funding is having people come through our beautiful little town and stay there. So yeah, there's not a lot of money coming into this town. There's not a lot of options. Like if I don't want to teach, I would have to go to a different town. If I don't want to teach at the school that I'm teaching, I would have to travel and go
Yeah,
somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, that's just how it is in our town, bare minimum.
that's awful. So, I mean, I'm so glad that this is happening because God Almighty, you guys need it down there because y'all are
Yeah.
getting robbed.
Yeah, we really are. And a lot of it has to do with the amount of money that our actual school receives. So our school doesn't receive a lot of money.
Mhm.
So therefore our the teacher pay is a lot lower.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
that's just the way it is. Our school is tiny. We don't have a lot of students either. So that per capita or like per child that we should be receiving, we're probably getting the bare minimum for our kiddos because it's
Yeah.
such a small school. So I'm hoping that what is happening or this bill that has gone into effect, I'm hoping that that'll kind of level out the playing field,
Mm-hmm.
especially for us, like the little towns who aren't receiving as much money. And I don't know. I'm hoping that, I'll be making, oh my gosh, an extra few grand a year. That would be great. I will take it. I'll take it. Whatever. Just pay me more.
Just give me the money.
Just give it to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you definitely will get a good bumps. According to the governor's page, if you have been teaching for 3 to 4 years of experience in a district with over 5,000 students, will receive a $2,500 raise. Versus those that have been teaching for 5 or more years, they get 5,000. So we're like our district, that's more than 5,000 students. So for you,
Yeah.
you've been teaching more than 5 years, so you'll get, I think, an extra 8,000 a year.
You know what? That's more than I thought. So I will definitely take that. That makes a big difference.
Okay. And additionally, this is also good news. So the teacher incentive allotment, or TIA, it also has been expanded. And now it's going to allow top tier performing teachers to earn up to $36,000 more annually.
Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, does it mean that TIA is going to raise the bar and give us more?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've read, they're going to keep
But it
TIA in
says,
place.
okay, is that what it means? Or does it mean that they're going to give us more per level?
What do you mean per level? Like
So,
distinguish, whatever?
like, are they going to like bump the money on that, or they're just going to keep it?
So, according to the Texas Tribune, lawmakers expanded Texas teachers' incentive allotment. House Bill 2 will allow more teachers in a district to qualify for raises, which will range from as low as $3,000 annually to as high as $36,000 annually. So, higher dollar amounts will go to the program's highest performing teachers working in rural or high poverty communities.
Oh my gosh, this makes me so happy because, like you said, we are getting gypped when it comes to, our salary.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's just the way it is in our district. Is it sad? Yeah. But I mean, now this kind of like is leveling the playing field. And I'm really, really hoping that that pay goes through and that people are happy and then it just keeps coming. And then it's like, oh, yeah, they're happy. Texas is doing great. And then other, states start doing it. And then before you know it, like we're all going to be making mad cash as teachers. Can't wait for that day.
Fingers crossed.
Right? And I think the more we voice our opinion on how dissatisfied we are about how we're getting paid, the more likelihood that they'll start listening. So I don't know. That's the dream, at least. I definitely think that there's a power in numbers, and the more outspoken we are, you know, on the things that we have to do and the pay, the more likelihood that they'll listen. At least that's my theory.
Yeah, like I said last week, if you see that you have teachers quitting by the loads, there's something wrong. And, it may not all be because of pay. I'm sure a lot of it is not because of pay, but at least if you're compensating people well enough to where they can make a living out of it, then it'll motivate them a little bit more to stay in the classroom.
And like maybe this is the first change in a lot of things that have to happen in education. Yes, give us more money. And then, hey, okay, then let's progress and then let's change the behavior in the classroom. Let's talk
Hmm.
about how we can, start appreciating teachers a little bit more and kind of shift that mindset to where we are professionals and we should be treated with dignity and respect. So, by the government or giving us more money, I think that's a step in the right direction. I think that's a step saying, hey, you know what? You guys do deserve this amount. You guys are professionals, and maybe it'll catch on with other people.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. So, on the flip side, House Bill 4, which aimed to replace the STAAR test with other shorter assessments, did not pass. Not a shocker. Not a shocker at all.
Yeah, so this one got shut down. I believe it was June 2nd when
Mm.
they gave it the axe. So basically, what it come down to is they couldn't reach a compromise. They couldn't reach like something that kept everybody happy about how they wanted to proceed with this.
Yeah.
So I guess in their eyes, the STAAR is better than anything else. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the STAAR is better than a shorter assessment, like what
Yeah.
they had proposed in the beginning. 3 times a year, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Like
Mhm. And we're kinda already doing it anyways,
we are
so
already doing it. Why are we adding or
yeah.
keeping the STAAR? Which I feel like the kids do so much better with math. Don't get me wrong; they don't like
Yeah.
testing.
Yeah.
They don't like it, but I feel like it's not as stressful for them as
Yeah.
STAAR is.
You know what, though? You know what's the one thing I do not like about that?
Hmm.
Is that it changes according to your level. I don't know that I like that
What do you
because
mean?
right, because is that the one that would change? Like, if you are testing lower, like, it changes the reading level? Like, let's say you miss a whole bunch of questions, and then it moves you down to, like, 5th grade reading level, 4th grade reading level, and then it
Mhm.
progresses, right?
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
know that I like that because is it because everybody's not taking the same test.
Right.
So now it's differentiating, right?
Mhm.
Which is what everybody loves. Everybody wants to differentiate and make it to where it's tailored to everybody. But that's not the real world. Things aren't tailored to you. Like either you're reading at a 7th grade level or you're not.
Right.
Either you understand it or you don't. So I don't know how accurate that data. That's like comparing apples to oranges. You're comparing little Timmy who took a test that was super hard compared to little Johnny who took a test that was a little bit easier. Like you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
How does that work? I just don't see how accurate that is, and I don't know that I like that. Shouldn't we all just take the same exam? You do well or you don't?
Yeah, I guess that's why they couldn't come to an agreement, and then
Yeah,
that's why the STAAR is gonna remain for now. I mean,
yeah.
hopefully they'll go back to the drawing board and they'll throw out more ideas and try to figure something else out that will, be effective all across. Like you said, like the same test that's gonna measure everybody equally.
And I think honestly, the only way to come up with with a great solution,
Mhm.
you gotta talk to teachers. You gotta talk to teachers that are actively
In the
teaching in the
classroom.
classroom and
Mhm.
get teacher input. Like, there's only so much a politician can do. If you are not in the classroom and you are not administering these exams, like you have no idea what's going on. You have no clue what's needed in the classroom.
Yeah, and I think teachers have been screaming this for years and years. Like, you don't even know what's going on. You
Mhm.
don't know what it's like in the classroom. And I know we mentioned this several times.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the classroom, then you don't know how kids learn or what is happening with them. So
Yeah,
I
for
think I
sure.
think that's a great idea. So
Like we need teacher ambassadors
mhm.
that are going to go and bring these topics to our state representatives.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you're looking for a teacher and ambassador, we would love to go help you guys out. I mean, we have a ton of ideas.
Yeah, or form a committee, get
Absolutely.
a teacher from different areas, and
Mhm.
I will guarantee you they all have the same opinion.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Get you veteran teachers that have been doing this for 20 plus years and newer teachers that, have gotten there and they understand the data and how everything works. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, school districts love having committees for everything. Why not do it on a state level and help your senators out so they can figure it out?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's definitely been more movement when it comes to school districts and them going and petitioning, to DC and like just bringing awareness of what the community needs are. Like, I think that's been like the new trend. Because I have seen like certain districts on social media that have sent out superintendents to um, Washington, DC to communicate, what we need as a rural school system. I know our superintendent has gone several times
Mhm.
to, go and just present our issues and the things that we are dealing with. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So it's definitely like a trend
Mhm.
where superintendents are voicing their opinion, which I think is great. Somebody needs to speak up.
Yeah, for sure. And they need to take, like you said, take some input from people that are in the actual classroom and they know
Hmm.
what's going on. Who better than to keep you informed? All right, Casey. So let's shift. Let's talk about TikTok this week. So, we
Yeah.
had that episode last week when we talked about this whole thing, give us races,
Yeah.
House Bill 2, House Bill 4, House Bill 10. So we posted a short clip on TikTok, and it's when you were talking about how you feel seen in the classroom, you feel like your district appreciates you. And of course, it was a snippet of the whole conversation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody felt the need to comment on TikTok and say,
Let's read the comment. Let's read it
okay,
directly.
so the comment says, "Come on, lady, wake up. We are not being seen. We are tired of it. We haven't had a race in 3 years. You have zero clue of what is going on."
Yeah.
So this particular person, I guess she's sounds like she doesn't feel seen in her district.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she hasn't gotten a race in her district. So maybe
Yeah.
she's like in a smaller district like you are. Cause
Hmm.
I mean, have you gotten a race in a while?
So we get like our step increases, but our
Mm-hmm.
step increases are tiny. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about like minuscule,
$500 a
yeah,
year.
amounts. It doesn't
Yeah.
even make a difference in your paycheck.
Right.
That's how tiny our step increases are. So I totally get it. And I think a lot of other people in education feel the same way that
Yeah.
she feels because we are hurting. We are hurting as teachers. And not every state, is doing the things that, Texas is trying to do. So I think because of TIA really has made a big difference and a big impact on me as a teacher. And me feeling like I'm being seen and valued. And a lot of that has to do with my district,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because my district, filled out the paperwork and submitted to be a part of TIA. There's a lot of districts out there in Texas that still aren't a part of TIA and aren't receiving that extra money. So I totally get it why she's frustrated or why she doesn't feel seen or valued or heard. Um, and I think TikTok is a wonderful platform for you to reach people and let people know how you feel. Um, and it comes through communication. You have to communicate how you are feeling. And I get it. Like we are a non-unionized state, so we can't go and get representatives to help us out and increase those pay raises. But I think that's why get out there, find a platform, and communicate your needs. Um, we are lucky that we are able to talk about the things that we are experiencing and going through our podcasts. But yeah, I get it. Like I feel her. Like I feel how upset she is about not getting a raise, and she's absolutely right. Some people aren't getting raises. I'm just very lucky to work for a really awesome district that has provided that extra income for us.
Yeah, I agree. And, it sucks that she's
Mhm.
feeling this way. Unfortunately, this is how it is for some people. Some districts are not on top of their stuff. Like, we are lucky enough to work in districts. I mean, I work in a bigger district that pays very well. Is it enough to make a living? Yeah. Are you going to be scraping by? Possibly, yes. This past year I got so lucky that I had a good administration. So, little things like that, like having a good
Mhm.
principal makes you be happy to be there. And, like you, I also felt appreciated and seen this year as a first year school counselor. I mean, she gave me great opportunities and she gave me great feedback. And, she was always willing to allow me to learn with about everything that was happening this school year. So it sucks that this
Mhm.
person is feeling this way. But like you said, I mean, if you have TikTok and you are gonna be saying things like that, then also use your platform to talk about it and
Yeah.
say the things that are wrong in your district and how you feel unappreciated. That's the beauty of TikTok, that it
Yeah.
allows people to build a platform and make people aware of what's going out there.
Yeah, and I think we're hearing it a lot more. We're seeing a lot more. We're seeing the discontent that teachers are feeling. And I think it's important to voice it.
Mhm.
Teachers voice it. The more teachers we get on social media to voice how disrespected they feel, how unseen they feel, how hard the education system is, the better. Then maybe we'll raise some type of awareness and maybe we'll create some type of change.
Yeah. And I think definitely if you are not a teacher or an educator, if you see things like this, because I think a lot of people take it as here's another teacher complaining
Yeah.
about what's going on. Take it serious. You know, I want to invite all those people. If you come across a video on TikTok and it's like, even if it's satire,
Mhm.
um, there's also some truth to those videos because
Yeah.
this is a reality of education nowadays. So be more proactive and be more involved with your kids' education. And, you know, we go back to the districts are not against you, the school is not against you. They want to do everything possible for your kid to be successful. But when you don't have parent support, then it makes it so difficult, you know. I'm not
Yeah.
saying don't believe your kids, but also, you know, we got to step up and we got to start parenting different in order to be, you know, successful and work hand in hand with our schools.
Yeah. I think that's a super important thing to, say because you're right. I think the respect that teachers are given is very minimal.
Hmm.
And it's very evident sometimes through the way kids are being raised. And not everybody, of course, not
No.
everybody. But, it's okay for some kids to disrespect their teachers, and I wanna go back, to a time when teachers weren't disrespected. I feel like growing up, I was always very respectful, "Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am." And I think, a lot of those values, aren't necessarily pushed as much as they used to be, but yeah, it's definitely up to the parents. I think parents play a giant role in education, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. And I feel like kids talk to everybody the same way. You know,
Yeah.
'cause we used to talk to our parents one way, our teachers another way, our friends another way, and then kids nowadays they just want to talk to every single person the same way, like it's as if they were your peers. And I
Yeah.
mean, in my opinion, you can't do that, you know? It's a lot more common to be standing in the hallways during passing periods and you hear so many cuss words and the things that come out of their mouths, you know, with adults being present in the hallways. And I would have never dared to talk like that in front of adults for them to hear me cuss. I mean, did I do it as a kid? Yes. Who didn't? But those are things that you did with your friends away from adults at all times. And I feel like that has completely gone away. Kids don't have any respect for anybody. So,
It's like
I
our
don't know.
society's too lax.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what? Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing that I always stressed in my classroom is like, hey guys, this is a formal environment. Please act like you're in a formal setting. That means you're going to watch the way you speak. You're going to speak in complete sentences. That's definitely something that we're seeing in society. Definitely a more laxed environment.
Yeah, I agree. So, anyway, with that being said, if you have a platform, if you have resources, you know, use them. And again, parents, if you see social media about teachers complaining, you know, take it a little bit more serious. And there's a trend there.
Yeah.
If you're not on Teacher Talk, I highly recommend for you to go find Teacher Talk and follow the trend. And that'll tell you that something is happening and, you know, some things need to be addressed.
Yeah. Things are definitely shifting. Yeah. All right, guys. So we want to thank you for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you have any feedback, we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media.
We are on YouTube, we are on Instagram and TikTok. You just search for Hermanas Unfiltered podcast and you sure will find us there. Sometimes we post a little bloopers and things like that. So share this with your friends. Send this episode to your friends. You know, come follow us in every social media platform.
Yeah. And we'll start doing live, especially now that summer has kicked in. So if you guys want to hang out with us, definitely follow us on TikTok.
So until next time, guys, have a good summer.
Bye.
Bye.